Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's intraday analysis video brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, guys, into this action-packed day we go. Tons to talk about. We have a gold massive collapse and crash, which again I've been calling for quite some time. I've been a stringent proponent of gold going to about 12 to 1300 per ounce. Right now, down $137 per ounce at 1364. So it's getting close to the range. I did pick up a little for a technical bounce in this range. Research Center members know that. But bottom line is, the levels are here. You just have to follow the charts. All right, the charts told me this thing was going to collapse way long ago. It was at 1900 at the time when I make this call. And sure enough, this is a retrace of epic proportions coming into a beautiful range. All right, not quite there for the multi-month, multi-possible year low yet, but it's getting closer. All right, and again, probably today you're going to see hedge funds go bust. There's got to be lots of hedge funds over-leveraged in gold, and sure enough, major collapse here is probably taking them to the woodshed and making. You'll probably hear about this in the next few days about different hedge funds collapsing. Now, for me, I have a majority of shorts out there, and the shorts are paying me off. On the long side, I was long for this ETF right here, the FXY, which is the Japanese yen. I already took half off the table. My entry was at 98.25. Right now, currently, it's trading at 100.60. 100.60. So already up basically $2.40 on this ETF here. Took half off the table. Break even stop. Rinse and repeat. Profits galore. All right, and again, this is just the way it is. Now, I have other stocks that are short. Amazon, down $4 today. I'm slightly out of the money on this one. My entry was around the 265.50 level, so about a $3 still out of the money, but nonetheless collapsing with the market. And today the markets are just getting slaughtered, folks. I mean, the SPY is down huge. Economic numbers are poor. Last night we had a Chinese economic number that was very poor on growth, 7.7% growth. That was much less than expectations. I think the gold plummet is kind of making people realize that anytime a stock market or any market gets to parabolic levels, there's a chance of a crash type scenario. What you're seeing in gold today could be easily seen in the markets at these highs, folks. All right, people always try to justify why this bubble is different or why it's not a bubble. Honestly, any market that goes as vertical as this one has is due for a correction. It's just that simple. It doesn't even take a genius on this one, So just keep that in mind. Market's trading at the lows of the day. What else do I have? Else is making me money? Chevron down $3. Short this one in the money. KR down 21 cents. SDS long up $1.40. Okay. All right, they just keep on piling on here. All right, what else do I have? I have IBM short. That's only down about 34 cents, but that's a defensive stock, and that's why that's hovering up. All right, so this is where it's at, folks. Plenty of action in this market. All right, this morning I had held 2,500 shares of VXX overnight. Took a G off this morning. I could have even made more, but that's fine. I'll take the G. All right, we had other trades out there. Beautiful stuff. We talked about gold continuing to come down. That's exactly what's happened. And again, it is what it is at this stage of the game, folks. It is what it is. You just enjoy it and make money from it. All right, couple other things to look at. The gold miners, GDXJ is the triple or the double, but GDX is the single, down $2.78. Look at this epic collapse of the last few days. Look at the run this thing has had. I mean, literally from the high here, this thing was 50 and change. It's almost down 100% now, just in the last probably 6 months or so. It is coming into a major support level, folks. You do have a major gap fill right here. There's a big support right here. There's another support right here and another support right here. So there's a lot of supports starting to come into play on the GDX. A lot of supports. Now, is it there? Is it ready to be played yet? That's up in the air. It's short term. I do think it's getting technically way oversold, due for a bounce. But what type of bounce will you get on this? Maybe a 5-10% bounce, which is a great bounce, don't get me wrong, as it's down basically almost 10% today. I mean, that's a huge move. Think about that, folks. Gold's today down 8%, and we have stocks or the ETFs like GDX, which track the miners. The miners as a stock group down 8 to 10%. I mean, it is incredible the type of downside we're seeing here. All right, silver is also taking a huge beating, folks. Here we're talking about basically a 10% drop on this, and this has bounced off its lows too. A big bounce. You can see the tail down here. This was the bearish consolidation chart we had talked about a while back. Look at that flag pattern. It's a beautiful in spirit of bearish flag pattern, and look at the collapse that came forth. So again, this is where it's at. The charts are just the ones telling us. All right, when I shorted Chevron last week, late last week, it was just the chart was telling me. All right, when I told my members again, short the S&P, all right, that's what the charts were telling. Now we're seeing the results of that. We're seeing massive moves in the indexes and gold and everything else. I mean, look at JJC. JJC is the copper ETF. This has been telling us for a while the downside would come in. Look at this sell-off from way over here. Now, the key is about this is you've actually, check this out, you've actually triggered a head and shoulders pattern, which is unbelievably bearish long term. Now, short term, is it due for a bounce? Absolutely. But long term, look at this. Look at this neckline. I mean, this is incredible, folks. Look at this neckline right here. Here's your shoulder. Here's your head. And here's your shoulder. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right. Now, looking at other stocks out there, believe it or not, other stocks are not underperforming that much. I mean, we have a lot of downside out there, but if you look at the big boys, I mean, this is really gold, silver, and other commodities out there. Oil's taking a hit as well. But take a look at some other stocks here. Apple. Why is Apple important in this range? I'm going to show you right now. All right, Apple's important in this range because it's all about can it hold this double bottom. It has held it so far. It's not below there, but that is a major level. If this breaks and the market continues to decline, this will be an epic level that you'll look back and say that breakdown took us below 400 and possibly as low as 350 to 375. All right, so again, very big level on Apple, still holding it. We'll see if it can hold it later today. All right, other stocks in motion. JP Morgan Chase. Now, this was up earlier, but now down 85 cents. Really not that big of a drop. Google's down $2. I mean, the financials, believe it or not, are actually holding up a little bit better, mostly on the back of Citigroup. Citigroup's off its highs, but actually up 59 cents right now. You can see it's come off its highs, but still up on earnings. Decent earnings there, and that's keeping this ETF, or this stock, I should say, this financial stock doing pretty well. Chevron, I'm short it, down $3 today. Exxon, obviously I'm not short this one as well, just short one of the two. This one's taking a big hit here as well. Beautiful downside. Baidu had a huge rally last week, down $1.38. That's actually not that bad of a performance, and Google's trading down about 6. So great stuff here. Google's actually had a nice bounce off its lows after a pretty ugly collapse off the highs. Google was up sharply there and then came all the way back in. But earnings is this week. We have tons of earnings this week. We have stocks reporting like IBM this week and other financials. It's going to be a big-time week, folks. And again, it got started with a bang today on this Monday. It's interesting because on Friday, I put out a weekend video to my members on Friday night for the weekend, and I said to them, I said, hey, listen, I picked up some VXX here because, in all fairness, Cyprus is a mess, Europe is a mess, markets try to keep recovering, but everything is not looking great. China's not looking good. These things, other factors are not looking good, and sure enough, that turned out to be a dead-on call as the markets are getting crushed today. Just to go over the indexes here, let's cover them quickly. All right, if we take a look at the S&P 500, which is down 25 plus points right now. We have the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 180, and the NASDAQ, get this, down 60 points. That's an ugly day on the NASDAQ. And again, it's the miners and the commodities that are taking a brunt of this drop. It is a monstrous drop on the commodities. All right, guys, I'm going to step aside. I got to get back to trading. There's way too much money to be made here the rest of the day. Come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Look forward to having you with us and making money with our members. Take care.